how the Dallas Cowboys are breaking the NFL. We're gonna be going through that in today's video and 5 other stories. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel hitting that red button down below. So the first story is how Dallas Cowboys, but more specifically Dak Prescott, is breaking the NFL defense. Sure, there are some spots here and there in which you need to turn up the heat no matter who's on the other side of the line of scrimmage, but some names you've got to respect more than others. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, among others. But for some odd reason, defensive coordinators in this league haven't stopped blitzing Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. Well, they should. After all, the Cowboys signal caller has been a certified blitz assassin pretty much his entire career. This season is no exception, as Prescott ranks among the best quarterbacks in just about every category when blitzed. In spite of those numbers, Prescott is the 6th most blitzed QB in the NFL this season. In other words, despite getting burned again and again, teams keep blitzing the Cowboys quarterback. Why, it's really hard to understand what defensive coordinators' motivations are. Perhaps they underestimate the quarterback, because one thing we can't say is that it's working. It's simply not in the numbers, and tape prove it. It isn't that the Cowboys have simplistic answers to the blitz either. Dak's average depth of target isn't among the lowest in the league, which would probably suggest a lot of screen passes and checkdowns. He just beats it consistently. This year, the Cowboys are getting even better against the blitz, as they've been able to play chess in the pass protection world, and they've been more sound against simulated pressures too. Whereas last season they struggled to stop the Arizona Cardinals' creative games at the line of scrimmage. For example, Kellen Moore's offense has more answers at its disposal now. In last week's game against the New York Giants, for example, they consistently beat Wink Martindale's blitzes. Because of Prescott, Moore, and OL coach Joe Philbin, NFL teams would be smart to stop blitzing the Cowboys so often. I call it the Dak mistake now. So the second story is Odell Beckham Jr. completes Giants visit, flies to Buffalo with noise building on Cowboys. Sterling Shepard was FaceTiming with Odell Beckham Jr. during the Giants' open locker room Friday, asking when his friend would be at the facility and joking that the feds, the local media, were hot on OBJ's trail. "I would be lying if having Odell in the locker room wouldn't help this team," Saquon Barkley said at his locker. "We're in a great spot, but knowing Odell personally, the energy he brings, the swagger he plays with, the playmaking ability he has, the moment he steps in a locker room, he automatically makes that team better." Beckham's close ties to Barkley and Shepard make the Giants a serious contender to sign him after Thursday night's dinner with Beckham, ownership, and team brass, followed by a Friday physical in New York City and a quick afternoon stop in East Rutherford. "We had a good dinner," tight-lipped head coach Brian Daboll said. "I had a great steak." However, Beckham left New Jersey without a deal on Friday night and flew to Buffalo, continuing his free agent tour with the Bills. And Hall of Fame Dallas Cowboys quarterback Troy Aikman poured more cold water on a Giants reunion by stamping Beckham to the Cowboys as all but guaranteed in his mind. "I think it happens," Aikman told 96.7 The Ticket in Dallas. "I mean, if I was betting, I would bet virtually everything I have on it. I've never known Jerry to lose a player that he's wanted. I think second place is a distant second place." Additionally, Giants captain Julian Love said Friday that he thinks his team should be cautious about making any decisions that might mess with the Giants' current internal dynamic. "The community would love. I'm pretty much in the middle of it. I can see the pros and cons to it," Love said on the Talkin' Ball with Pat Leonard podcast. "He's obviously a good player, but I feel like everyone looks at certain things with rose-colored glasses. You remember the good and you can forget. I just don't want anything who we bring in to be a distraction ever, and that's something that I think needs to be considered with this. I think it'd be great if we could get him on the team and healthy and balling for us," Love added, "because we are light right now in the receiver room. But at the same time, we got to look at it from all sides and see, is it a fit? Because what might have been a fit 4 years ago, whenever he was here last, it's a whole new roster, whole new team right now." Giants safety Terrell Burgess, Beckham's teammate on last year's Super Bowl winning Los Angeles Rams, said he realized last season that OBJ's reputation was unfounded and that he was a great person and player. "It's funny because before then, all people would talk about was the media, and him in Cleveland, him here the first time," Burgess said. "And I feel like immediately I realized that not everything that was put out into the media was true. He's a good person, good dude, funny, great teammate. Every receiver I've met in my life wants the ball, but he understood the situation he was coming into, especially with the season Cooper was having." Burgess continued. So he was a great teammate, positive, and he helped the offense. And I think wherever he goes, he'll be a help to any offense. Burgess also smiled broadly and mentioned the most pertinent fact to Beckham's current free agent tour, his proven production. I feel like if he didn't get hurt in the Super Bowl, he was primed for an amazing game, Burgess said with a laugh. That's the reason Beckham's free agent tour is getting so much attention, along with his international star power. He just contributed in a major way to the Rams winning the Super Bowl. Giants receivers coach Mike Groh, who was Alabama's wideouts coach in 2011-12 when OBJ starred at LSU, even lobbed Friday for a receiver who he called pretty spectacular. We all know that Odell has a unique skill set, Groh said. His ability and body control to make contested plays, the natural hands that he's got, and the juice to go the distance whether you catch a deep ball or catch a short one and make a long run. He's been a very productive player wherever he's been. Of course, it's not clear where Beckham's twice-torn left ACL is, and it was hard to understand just how enthusiastic the Giants were in this pursuit from Daball's rigid and rehearsed statement. So the third story is Cowboys star Trevon Diggs names NFL's best corner. Dallas Cowboys cornerback Trevon Diggs is one of the best defensive backs in the league. To be one of the best, you have to believe you are the best. When asked on Friday which corner holds the #1 spot in the NFL, Diggs gave an unsurprising answer. I just would never put another corner in front of me. I wouldn't say another corner is better than me, he said. Per Team Insider John Machota, Diggs has 13 passes defended and 3 interceptions so far this season. In a breakout second season last year, the 24-year-old DB logged a league-high 11 interceptions and 21 passes defended, earning his first Pro Bowl and All-Pro honors. Diggs did not practice on Thursday due to an illness. That being said, he's expected to take the field for Sunday's Week 13 matchup against the Indianapolis Colts. So the fourth story is Dak Prescott has something to say that will make Cowboys fans proud. The Dallas Cowboys have been in the eye of the storm the last few days after a photo of Jerry Jones from 1957 surfaced this week, in which he was in a crowd of white kids standing in front of a high school in Little Rock, Arkansas, who were trying to stop black teenagers from segregating it. Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James took issue with the photo of Jones, stating that he didn't understand why he hadn't been asked about it when black athletes get dragged through the mud by the media for any mistake. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott was asked about what James had to say, and his answer was exactly why he's the leader of the Cowboys. Obviously, we can be more empathetic and give grace obviously to one another, regardless of race, obviously from the times that we've come from to where we are now, thinking about the growth that we've had, said Prescott. That's who I am and that's how I think, optimistic. A guy who is completely biracial, black and white. It's easy for me to speak on race on one side or another, and I don't know if I've fully processed it all the way, honestly. I think whether LeBron's talking to the picture, that's on Jerry to address. In the same sense, it's 65 years ago, and how times have changed. That's a great point by Prescott. Jones has been with the Cowboys since 1989. In those 33 years, he's formed close bonds with an abundance of black players like Hall of Famers Mitchell Irvin and Emmitt Smith. However, it goes beyond the football field as well. For years, the Cowboys have taken risks on players with off-the-field issues, including those of substance abuse and domestic violence, and they have been black males in these cases. Jones and the Cowboys have been diligent in getting these players the proper help with lives first, and then getting them to be productive on the field. Prescott went on to double down on his stance, but also let it be known that Jones and the media have to look at themselves in this scenario as well and ask some tough questions. As I said, I give grace. I think that's a conversation and question not only for him but for you guys and how y'all feel and how accountable y'all have been in covering and discussing the disparities and differences in race, Prescott said. As I said, I'm here for growth and giving grace and trying to make this world a better place. That's who I am at my core and all I believe in. Unfortunate things come up from the past, pictures, and they show how far we've come. But in the same sense, they're a reminder of how short of a time that was ago. That wasn't that long ago that we were all sitting on different sides, and we weren't together. But as I said, I wouldn't be here if it were still that way. So I believe in grace and change. Those are questions for Jerry and for y'all, honestly, that I don't have quite the answers for. What more could a team ask for from the face of their franchise? Race in America was and always will be a tough subject to discuss despite the positive changes that have been made since that photo of Jones, Prescott, and his mindset on the topic, and how he believes in moving forward. And having grace, as he said, is a testament to the man he is, and just further indication of why the Cowboys are blessed to have him in the building. So the fifth story is 4 Dallas Cowboys stars were hit with fines by NFL, and fans were all left thinking the same thing. It seems that the NFL wasn't overly impressed with one particular touchdown celebration last week. The No Fun League was trending on social media once again on the weekend, and this time it was because of a fine aimed at 4 Dallas Cowboys. Just one day before National Tight End Day, Dalton Schultz, Jake Ferguson, Sean McKeon, and Peyton Hendershot came together to celebrate Hendershot's fourth-quarter touchdown against the New York Giants on Thanksgiving. Schultz, Ferguson, and McKeon all jumped in the oversized Salvation Army kettle, which the Cowboys typically have besides the field for the holiday. They then took turns jumping up, with Hendershot playing a game of whack-a-mole with the ball. A bit of harmless fun, right? Perhaps, but a costly one as it turns out. All 4 have been handed fines by the NFL for their celebration. Schultz $13,261, Ferguson $4,895, McKeon $4,994, and Hendershot $3,944. Thankfully for the players and their wallets, quarterback Dak Prescott had planned to cover any fines from this celebration. Fans were left less than impressed with the fines handed out by the league, with one commenting, "No Fun League strikes again. Bah humbug."